Hi, I'm John Caprarelli, and in this short video, we'll walk through the disabled access upgrade requirements for a typical commercial improvement. This video is intended for business owners, architects and designers, contractors, and others in the construction industry. Unfortunately, many existing buildings in California do not comply with recent building code requirements for disabled accessibility. When these buildings are altered, certain elements shall be evaluated and upgraded to provide access for the disabled. For this video, our example project is a clothing store improving a space in an existing shopping center. Here's the space that's going to be improved. It's empty except for an existing unisex restroom. The first step is to evaluate the accessible path of travel serving the specific area of alteration and identify any elements which do not comply with recent building code requirements for disabled accessibility. The building code defines the path of travel to include an accessible entrance, an accessible route to the altered area, toilet and bathing facilities, drinking fountains, parking, signs, storage, alarms, and public telephones. An accessible route is a continuous unobstructed path that can be negotiated by a person with a disability using a wheelchair and that is also safe for and usable by persons with other disabilities. Now, let's walk through the accessible path of travel for our example project. Starting with the entrance door, the following accessible features must be evaluated: clear width, hardware height and type, kick plate, threshold height, maneuvering clearances, level landing, opening force, and closing speed. For this example, the threshold height and level landing do not comply. Next, the accessible route to the altered area and the following features: walk widths, running slopes, cross slopes, changes in level, protruding objects, and detectable warning. A change in level does not comply and the detectable warning is missing. Further along the accessible route, there's a curb ramp which must comply with the following: curb ramp width, curb ramp slope, flared edge slopes, curb ramp landing, and detectable warning. In this case, the curb ramp does not comply. Moving inside to the restroom, the following accessible features must be evaluated: fixture dimensions and clearances, reach ranges, operable parts, grab bar locations and dimensions, dispenser locations, lavatory pipe protection, door accessibility, and door sign. Here, the clearance around the toilet and the toilet paper dispenser location do not comply. And now to the accessible parking and the following features: number of spaces and configuration, dimensions, levelness, striping color, contrast, and diagonals, access aisle letters, surface identification, ISA sign, minimum fine sign, van accessible sign, and unauthorized vehicle sign. Here, access aisle letters, the striping, and signage do not comply. As you can see, evaluating an existing building or facility is a complicated job that requires a solid understanding of disabled access regulations. It is recommended that you hire a certified access specialist or CASP, a licensed architect, or a qualified designer. The next step is to determine the adjusted construction cost of the project. Let's take a look at the improvements proposed for our example project. The California Building Code defines the adjusted construction cost as all costs directly related to the construction of a project, including labor, material, equipment, services, utilities, contractor financing, contractor overhead and profit, and construction management costs. For our example project, the adjusted construction cost is $120,000. The Building Code also defines a valuation threshold for determining the extent of required accessibility upgrades. This threshold increases every year. Since the adjusted construction cost of our example project is below the current valuation threshold, the cost of accessibility upgrades may be limited to 20% of the adjusted construction cost, or in this case, $24,000. This is enough to bring our project into compliance with current code. Now, let's incorporate the accessibility upgrades into the project's design. If the adjusted construction cost of a project is above the current valuation threshold, full compliance is required, unless an unreasonable hardship applies. Be sure to include all disabled access information on the construction drawings. All path of travel elements must be shown, and any upgrades identified and fully detailed. Submitting plans to the building department that are missing this important information could delay the building permit process for your project. For more information and helpful resources, visit accesstoolkit.com.